It's a Monday, everybody. Welcome back to this new episode of Marketers Barely Managing. This is Rachel, as always. I want to talk a little bit today with you about the magic of scheduling. What's amazing is that most of us are very aware of how scheduling works, right? We schedule emails. We schedule social media posts. We schedule campaigns. We schedule videos publishing. We manage schedules. It's all about scheduling all the meetings. I don't know how many meetings y'all have per day. I used to have, at a company I worked at, I managed a global team of social media marketers, and I had about 6 to 8 meetings per day, which was dumb. That is dumb. Still is dumb. But we're managing those schedules as well. We also, I feel like marketers, and I don't know if y'all feel this way. I feel like because we do so much scheduling and understand the capabilities of scheduling tools, we don't just limit those to marketing tools we're using. We actually use those in the operational and communication tools we use. If you can raise your hand right now, raise your hand if you know how to schedule a Slack message or a Teams message or an email. Did you know that Outlook and Gmail, those, kind of big two primary ones people use, all allow you to schedule emails? You could send them at specific times. We all understand that. The reason I'm bringing it up is because why is it that so many of our colleagues, even if they've been working in, all of these tools that we've been immersed in for however long, they've been around, it's not like they're brand new. Why don't they understand the concept of scheduling? And this also ties into the understanding or misunderstanding that a marketer, someone who works in marketing, is always on 24/7, including evenings and weekends. Now, I'll be honest, my origin story in marketing stems from working in social media. And back in that day, this is before social media, y'all. I was there before it became a full-time position. It was merely a bullet point, possibly two, on a job description, and usually it fell to someone who was in administrative tasks rather than somebody on a marketing team because nobody understood it. It was just this it was kind of communication-y. Was it marketing? It was more about interconnectedness, and of course, as with all things, the saying goes, marketers ruined everything and descended into the social apps. But eventually it did become a full-time job. But I still remember in those days, you were understood as that kind of marketer, and social media being 24/7, always on, you would just respond all the time. You take your phone everywhere. I still remember being contacted on the 4th of July one year because the CEO at the company, who had an Instagram and didn't understand how and why it worked anyway, they kept insisting I put links in the captions. He wanted to post something about, it was a very politically charged video on July 4th, and I had to explain to my boss that, well, all right, we're going to post this. Who's managing these comments today? He's posting it on the 4th of July, which is a very patriotic holiday here in the United States. Is he going to be managing the comments, or are you thinking that's going to be me? Because I told her, I'm like, I am on spotty Wi-Fi. It's July 4th. I'm in Keystone. I'm on vacation today. I get that he wants to do this, but there's way more to just posting it and setting and forgetting. This will turn into something. Honestly, I think that part of the will turn into something beyond 4th of July is the thing that eventually put the kibosh on it. I don't think it was the consideration that, oh, well, Rachel's going to be sitting there all day answering comments. It wasn't that. But it should be that. Don't you all feel that way? And I'm not trying to say, oh, well, you feel that way, why don't you enforce it? Because I know. I think we have progressed more into the state of mind by our managers and superiors, the people who task us with these things, that, nah, man, you need to go recharge. You cannot be on 24/7. You can create these standard practices or standards of response where you can actually post on your social media accounts when you will respond to certain things. We'll respond during business hours, Eastern time zone, Monday through Friday. And I think that's completely reasonable. If you have the means to staff it where you are covering your channels 24/7, and listen, some brands out there need that. Okay. Not every business can shutter that communication stuff. If you think about support, 24/7 support, I'm sure we've all seen even less than that dose. Some people are like, 24/7, 5 days a week or whatever, instead of 7 days a week. So 24/5, I guess that would be. Seeing way more of that, where they are setting these realistic expectations that, hey, we can't respond to everything even on the weekends. So all that to say, you're probably going to face that this week. If you don't, if this is not your reality, embrace yourself and just thank your lucky stars, because there is often at least one person, usually someone with some power that is more than yours in the workplace, who does not grasp the notion of scheduling things, whether that be emails or Slack Teams messages or even texts. Yes, you can do texts too. I actually need to teach my father how to schedule tasks, how to schedule texts, because sometimes he will text something that's kind of health related on the weekend. Literally nothing anybody can do about it. It's not urgent. It's not an ER thing, but it's like, well, I can't call about that till Monday anyway, but now I've stopped everything to read your text. God forbid your bosses have your text, your phone number. Ooh. But if you're friends, maybe they do, but hopefully they know enough to not message you. Anyway, this is why marketers sometimes, I think we can make really good people managers, because we understand the concept of schedule. Once again, let's give ourselves a solid pat on the back. No shoulder rubs. Those are awkward. Unless you really know the person. My husband likes to do that. Sometimes he'll come in and rub my shoulders and say he's, breaching HR policy. I'm like, yes, but you're my husband, so that doesn't count. But he does have to check to make sure you're not on a video call right now, are you? Because that would be awkward. Anyway, with that, let's go carry on with being awkward, responding awkwardly to people who don't know how to schedule tools or messages and things. And set the standard. We can try to recommend to them, be like, did you know that this is possible? One other thing we might talk about in a future episode, the power of voice notes. Sometimes those can be a little polarizing. Some of you love them. Some of you really hate them. But for today, we'll leave it at scheduling. I hope you have a great Monday, not a manic one. Yes, that's a Bengals reference because I'm old. But you should check out the Bengals. They're really awesome. Good band from the 80s. All right. Have a great rest of your week. Have a really as good a Monday as you can, in spite of all the things. And I'll be back on a future Marketers Barely Managing episode. Hopefully we do better than barely managing this week. Bye, everybody.